Welcome to Northwynd 2, Episode 17. In this episode, I'm going to be taking on the challenge of doing Stealer of Souls on Reaper 1 Skull, and I am level 17. Let's take a look at the quests that I've done. I didn't do a level 16 quest video, so I'll mention those as well. So I was with a group out in the Vale, did Running with the Devils, Rainbow in the Dark, and Coalescence Chamber all on R3, so that was pretty cool. And then capped off that session with the same group doing Lords of Dust on R6, so my first R6 quest on this tune, which is really cool. For my level 17 quests, I posted a group when I was doing the flagging quest for these, and a couple people joined. We did Enter the Kobold and Monastery of the Scorpion and Prey on the Hunter. And I think we're just doing all those on R1. Those can be some tricky quests, you know. The end fight in Prey on the Hunter can be challenging if you don't have adequate DPS and people to deal with the dragon, deal with the trash, etc. And there's just 3 of us. And the Kobold has an end fight that can be really, really difficult. And Monastery of the Scorpion's end fight can be tough as well. So just kept those simple with R1. I soloed Lord of Stone on R3, and then the Sane Asylum I think I did that on R3 as well. Let's take a look at the enhancements. So we got some healing amplification over here, some points of concentration and intimidate. Intimidate's good for this tune. I'm fully invested into Nature's Protector. 17 points is as far as I go here. On the Reaper side, I'm up to 7 points. I picked up the next tier of Constitution. For the Wolf, for the enhancements, I picked up Opportunistic Bite 3. And for the gear, the armor, I think I showed this in my level 14 video, but the collar is new. This has improved Vorpal and Smashing 7 on it. So improved Vorpal, the way that it's better than regular Vorpal is that the threshold for insta-killing the mobs is higher on improved Vorpal. And then later on you have like Sovereign Vorpal, and I can't remember what the other tiers are, but this has a 1500 hit point threshold, so if you roll 20 on a mob that has 1500 hit points or less, then they will instantly die, whereas regular Vorpal, the threshold is 1000 hit points. So it's a little bit of a boost there. For my spells, I do have access to level 9 spells now, so I picked up Storm of Vengeance, a really nice AoE spell. It does have a really long cooldown of 1 minute, and I really wish they had reduced that cooldown when they made changes to Update 38. That's something I did argue for. You know, it's a nice spell, but it's in no way so powerful that it warrants a 1 minute cooldown. I can't see any reason why it wouldn't have just kind of a standard cooldown that sort of matched like other spells like Ice Storm, for example. I mean, like I said, it's a cool spell, but it's not, you know, it's not like it's a Wail of the Banshee or something. But it does acid damage, and then every few seconds it does a lightning bolt to a random mob in the AoE. What's cool about the acid damage is that there's no save, and the acid damage is the primary damage type of Storm of Vengeance, so no save for that, which is really nice. And I also picked up Mass Regenerate, so I did ditch the regular Regenerate spell because I wanted to pick up something else instead. But the mass version is nice for groups, and as I mentioned before, Regenerate's really great for restoring negative levels as well. Let's see what else. I did pick up Creeping Doom since last time, and so this is a really awesome spell now, whereas before, it was a cool spell before, but what was changed in Update 38 is it now does acid damage, whereas before it did poison damage, so there wasn't really any way to boost the damage of it. But it does acid damage now, so now it's affected by like potency and you know, you've got acid spell power items. A Creeping Doom can be a little laughable at first because when you cast it, it's super slow to reach its target, like cast like a swarm of insects. But what's really cool about it is that it's actually an AoE dot. When it hits its target, it has a splash effect, and then that dot splashes onto any nearby target. So you can hit a whole group of mobs with this acid dot, which is really awesome. I also picked up Freezing Spray. And so this is a spell that you can use while in water elemental form. And when you cast it on a single target, it makes them 25% more vulnerable to cold damage in that last 30 seconds. We'll take a look at the gear. Oh, I wanted to mention too that so now I have access to Mantle the Icy Soul and Anger of the Noonday Sun. There were some changes made to the way that those work in Update 38, which are so awesome. So, first I'll mention that once you hit level 17, Elemental Mastery here, it says when you're Druid level 17 or above, changing into Fire Elemental form now grants you Anger of the Noonday Sun, and Water Elemental form grants you Mantle of the Icy Soul. It's automatically applied when you switch forms, which is a really nice convenience, but there were additional changes made to those buffs. So these are buffs that make your fire and cold spells more powerful. And you can only use like Mantle the Icy Soul when you're in water elemental form, and Anger of the Noonday Sun when you're in fire elemental form. Now, Anger of the Noonday Sun used to be really lame. It put some debuffs on the mobs, but they were so minor that it was basically useless. But Mantle of Icy Soul does inflict significant debuffs to the mobs that you target with, or that you target cold spells with. So, anytime you hit a mob with cold spells, Mantle of Icy Soul, or fire spells with Anger of the Noonday Sun, but with Mantle of Icy Soul, it puts a 25% movement speed penalty, a 10% penalty to attack speed, and a -4 penalty to reflex and fortitude save. Really awesome. So, reflex save would affect like Earthquake, for example. So great to throw down like an ice storm along with your Earthquake, because that's going to make everything in that area of effect take a -4 to reflex save, making them more likely to fall in your Earthquake. It also puts a -4 to fortitude save, so at this level range, I like to use Finger of Death in Reaper mode because I think it's great for getting rid of like a caster or a stubborn champion or something. And so if you hit it with just like your simple little the mob with your like SLA of Creeping Cold first, if you have Mantle Icy Soul on you, it gives it a -4 to fortitude saves. That's going to make your Finger of Death more likely to land because that's a fortitude save. But the really, really awesome change to Mantle and Anger of the Noonday Sun is that you can now damage mobs that were previously immune to or healed by fire and cold spells. You can damage everything with fire and cold spells now. So like for example, even an iron golem which is healed by fire, you can now damage it with fire, or a skeleton that would be immune to cold, you can damage it with cold. So when you have those buffs, Mantle Icy Soul and Anger of the Noonday Sun on you, the first time you cast the corresponding elemental type on the mob, so fire for Anger of the Noonday Sun or cold spell for Mantle Icy Soul, the first time you hit a mob with that, it inflicts them with a debuff. Subsequent fire or cold attacks do full damage. Super awesome. So prior to Update 38, that was a little bit of a problem. If I ran into mobs that were immune to cold, that was kind of a bummer. But having mobs that are immune to fire and cold, no longer a limitation for caster druids. And it's worth mentioning too that sorcerer savants got something similar for their corresponding elements. So like an Air Savant, for example, has a buff that can put on a mob and make it take electrical damage, even if it would have otherwise been immune to electrical damage. So it's really nice that it's automatically applied if you have Elemental Mastery, and really nice now that with those buffs you can affect any mobs with fire and cold spells. Super cool. Okay, gear. Still got the the vibrant purple for big spell points. Still got the torque here. That'll be there till endgame. Pansophic Circlet. Now have that slotted up with Sapphire of False Life 25. so 5 more than before. The goggles are new, Wisdom 8, Insightful Evocation 2, so that's really awesome. Evocation helps like Earthquake, for example, or Call Lightning. So got the Scales of the Exile and Braces of Wind, haven't changed. I've got this, this is the same as I showed before, but it now has a Topaz of Evocation, which is level 16 augment, and that does stack with all other sources of evocation bonuses. So a lot of people don't realize that those topazes of like spell focus mastery or spell school bonuses, those do stack with everything, and then at level 24 you can have the greater topazes to get +2, but this gives a +1. Other than that, the ring is the same as before. I'm really hoping to craft a new ring at level 18 to get +9 to Constitution and a little bit higher sheltering, but this is what I'm using for now. We'll see if I can get my crafting levels high enough. The boots are the same. Striding 30, Strength 5. Blurfinger gloves are the same, but now I have it slotted up with Sapphire Resistance +5. That's a level 16 augment. Bantam Stifle Commands is the same. The Thrumming Spark Cord is the same. And the Cloak of Flames is the same. Giant's Platter. Got that slotted up with Sapphire of Good Luck +1 now. That may have changed. I may have moved some things around. I think that that Topaz of Evocation. Yeah, I used to have Good Luck in the ring, and I moved Good Luck to the shield. And then I have the Wild Frost is still the same. Nothing in the red slot, but I think I'm going to put maybe like a Strength augment in there next level, because I will be changing out my boots. I'll discuss that in the next video. Let's see, no feats to mention at level 15 or level 16 or 17, other than the fact that I picked up Water Elemental Form, which is a Druid feat at level 17. So now I have all forms. Alright, let's get to the quest. Alright. Let's make this happen. This is a timed quest. It's not a raid, it's just a 6-person quest. A lot of newer players I've seen over the years confuse this for a raid, but it is not a raid. I'm going to go ahead and drink one of my lasting elixirs of supreme ability, because what else am I going to use them for? And to flag for this one, you need to run the 3 quests, Monastery, Pray, and Enter the Kobold, and they give you these essences. And you have to turn in those 3 essences in order to run the quest. You also need to collect 3 of the name gems. There are 6 name gems that come from a bunch of different Slayer zones. So like there's the gem that comes out of like the Sands of Manectran, there's another one that comes out of Orchard, there's another one that comes out of Giant Hold, and then there's 3 that come out of the Slayer zones here in this pack, and you need any 3 of those 6 named gems along with those essences that you get from the quest, and that'll flag you for this. The gems you only have to turn in once, but the essences you have to turn those in every time you want to run it. After you run Stealer Souls, you'll have access to purchase those from a vendor. So you don't have to run the quest again if you have enough Draconic runes to buy those essences, but the first time you will have to run the quest to get the essences. Now this quest is largely irrelevant today. Back in the day, these used to be very popular because you run it to get your Dragon Touched armor, which used to be like highly prized, customizable endgame armor. And it was a big deal to be able to get that armor crafted the way that you wanted it, and it was challenging to get all 3 tiers the way you wanted it, because the runes that you used to add the properties, they would be like you would get random ones. You would constantly be farming for the ones that you wanted. And back in the day when I originally started playing, the runes weren't even labeled, so the only way to find out what the rune was to apply it to your armor, and then, you know, you would just keep endlessly farming for these runes and just keep applying them to your armor until you got the one that you wanted, which is kind of silly, but that's the way that it was. And then they changed it now to where the runes are actually labeled, so then you can crunch unwanted runes into different runes now too, but it's still challenging to get it the way you want it. In any event, it's not really a thing anymore, so I'm really just doing this for the challenge and for the fun, and that's really just not really much other reason to be doing this quest. Dragon touched armor isn't really a thing anymore. Gotta put my wolf on aggressive. Stone giants are not affected by earthquake. There are a few like earth-based mobs, you know, like earth elementals, for example, and stone giants, stone-based mobs, I guess, that they don't fall in earthquakes. Carnage Reaper. May have bitten off more than I can chew here. We'll see. Problem here is that there are mobs that they're healing mobs, so these shamans really need to be taken out, but then they just respawn, and so you don't have all the time in the world to be fooling around with this. But I'm going for the elders now. I gotta take out the elders to complete this section. This quest is divided into 4 sections that are elementally themed, so like fire and cold and air, etc. Lost soul yoink. I killed that guy, so I'm gonna keep moving. I haven't done this quest in probably 2 years. I think when Reaper mode first came out, I did it just because, you know, I was doing all the quests on Reaper just to try them out, you know. But it's just not worth doing. It's just too long. You're certainly not going to get anything special out of doing this one on Reaper. Cold spray on that elder to make him take more damage from my creeping cold and my greater creeping cold. Got any shamans in there somewhere? Losing track of my mobs here. I'd like to take out this champion. I don't need him following me. Fighter, fighter, fighter. Oh, there's a shaman back there. I want to take him out. And Mirage finally bit it. Remnant. Okay, now that I've got those 3 elders killed, now I can go to the end fight of this section. Which is right here. I'm gonna take out this shaman first. It looks like I might have to drink some pots. Cold spray, creeping cold, greater creeping cold, put up some CC, sleet storm, ice storm, storm of vengeance. Remember that with Mantle the Icy Soul now, those cold spells are slowing down mobs. I'm gonna do creeping doom, oh crap, on Bummy there, and that's gonna splash onto all the nearby targets. So you can see they'll all be taking acid damage. Oh, actually, I wonder if they're immune to acid damage. Have to drink another pot. Not what I wanted to do. Shaman, that's a champion, that's not good. Is Bummy dead? I think he is. Okay, the shaman's dead, now I just gotta take out these fighters. Oh, there's another shaman. That's the blind one from out in the hall that wandered in. Oh, I do not want to drink another pot. See if I can use the clickies to finish him off. Alright. 2 pots deep already. Now I'm emotionally committed to it, right? Rest up. And now we're going to click on the Star Trek teleport pad here. 2 to beam up. In this room, this is, you know, the central room that takes you to the 4 different zones. You can only go to one of them at a time, and you can tell which one that you need to go to because the rune at the bottom of the little symbol there will be lit up. So you can see like this rune here is lit up now, so that's telling me that's the zone that is open now. So this is an ice area, so I'm going to switch to fire elemental form. Now I could stay in water elemental form and, you know, with mantle I could get my water spells to my cold spells to damage them, but I think fire is maybe better because they're going to be vulnerable, especially vulnerable to cold. I mean to fire. This zone is tough. This has a tricky section up here where I try to get across these bridges, and then the end fight is just a mess. There's so many mobs. See if I can get my wolf to pull these levers while I distract the mobs. Oh, he doesn't want to play. These levers will deactivate these air jets that want to blow you off the bridges that I have to cross here in a second. Lots of respawns in this quest, so you don't have time to play around. So I'm going to try to get these levers and get the hell out of here. Probably should have picked up Snow Slide, gone into Winter Wolf form, and then slid over to where I needed to be. These are the air jets here on the side. They only turn off momentarily. It's really quick, really tricky to cross this zone because you get blown off. Okay, now I'm gonna have a big mess on my hands. Ice Fluenzers here. So I need to kill Jala, Master of Ice. There he is. Let's do my acid dots on him. Earthquake. I don't think Sleet Storm's gonna affect them. Acid dots. Do flame strike and fire trap and fire seeds trap. Drink some pots. I did not want to have to do that for this quest, but here I am. So close, Jala, just die. Okay, he's dead. Let's get healed up. Earthquake, throw a couple sunbursts, blind the mobs. Let's get rid of these casters. That's one mage gone. Remnant before I die. Earthquake. Try to use SLEs to finish these guys off. There's another mage over there. Oh shit, Arcalaw is nasty. that's helpful. Oh, and a Fear Reaper. That's great. Can I finish these guys off with Produce Flame? Suicide Necklace and another Ice Ones are great. Okay, that mage isn't aggroing, so I'm fine with that. "41 minutes left and 2 zones to go. Oh, and the wolf aggro's up. Nice. It's okay, I'm just gonna teleport the hell out of here. Yep. Got these scrolls of spell resistance, 40% chance to use, so that's good enough to try. Provides 25 spell resistance, which is a meaningful amount of spell resistance at this level range, so why not? Now, can I raise my wolf? Even though a stone was over there? Yep. Look at that, he's still got his waffle. I'm going to switch to water elemental form. Mantle the Icy Soul automatically applied. Now, when you rest, you know, if you're, say, like I was in Fire Elemental form and then I rested, you lose the buff, so you'd have to recast on yourself, or you can just switch out of Elemental form and back into it, which would apply it to you, which is what I have to do now because I don't have the spells Mantle and Anger of the Noonday Sun actually memorized. Okay, let's see how these fire creatures like our cold spells. Fire Shield, yes. Can I do a Finger of Death on him? Yep, that was pretty cool. Soul, thank you. Those guys gotta die to open up the way. I'm not really worried about the wolf right now. He's gonna die in all this lava and stuff. Yes, we need Fire Shield. Can we finger the elemental again? Nope. Failed. Let's do a Creeping Doom. Hit all of them with it. I haven't been using my temporary spell point buff enough for Winter's Heart, but I just used it there. Such a nice emergency little boost. Okay, here I'm searching for some runes that open up the little end fight for this section. I don't want to spend a lot of time fighting mobs. Remember, this is timed. So you gotta do what you gotta do. And mobs respawn, so. I want to get these runes and get the hell out of here. Okay. They're not being cooperative, so we're gonna have to kill them. Blue fire shield, which is what I want, but my fire shield from my cloak keeps proccing, which is the other fire shield, which is overriding it. That's working to my disadvantage right now. Lost soul, that's helpful. There's one more rune over here. Got it. This fight can be tricky, but I have a plan. That plan involves casting Cold Spray on him, Creeping Cold, Greater Creeping Cold, and then running like hell. While spamming heal scrolls on myself. And when Greater Creeping Cold and Creeping Cold wear off, I hit him again. And then I run like hell. Fire Giants don't like Creeping Cold and Greater Creeping Cold. Oh, and he white dotted. That sucked. I cannot believe that happened. That is a backbreaker. That means I'm drinking pots. Let's blind all this stuff. Should have thought of that before. then it'll have a harder time following me. Yep, I'm gonna have to drink another pot. I didn't want to do that, but that's where I am. Okay, he's dead, damn it. And I'm not drinking another pot for this part. We're just gonna SLA him down. Get rid of that hero soul. Lost soul, that's helpful. We'll throw a great creeping cold on that one. And that one. And that one. Oh, another lost soul. Yeah, I'll take it. Damn. The wolf raised himself and then took off. Okay. One to beam up. This has been more challenging than I thought it would be so far. Did not think that I would be drinking this many pots. "29 minutes, plenty of time, so let's go ahead and get fully buffed up. I'm gonna get Mirage up too, since I got time. Not a bunch of lava pits in this part, so don't have to worry as much about him dying constantly. Oh, you know what else I'm gonna do? Since I got time? Yeah, I'm gonna fully buff Mirage. Everything I got. And then I'm gonna bring out my girlfriend to top me off. And then I'm gonna drink another Yugo pot. Here comes the fun. So here, kind of like the last part, a bunch of runes that we gotta hit to open up the way. Here's one. Open up the end fight. Oh, I missed one somewhere. Over here, yep. Oh, that air jet's still on. That means I I missed another rune. Where are you, other rune? There it is. Okay. Yeah, it's a lot of giants, isn't it? And they can bat you right off. But if you fall here, you just appear back where you started this zone. Mirage is running all around. That's what I should be doing, is blinding these guys. Blindness only lasts a minute now. It used to be permanent. And that was really cool because, you know, if they stayed blinded, then they just kept wandering around. I think this rune pulled on the barrier for that one down there. Yep. And I believe that's about it. Air elementals. Finger of Death, one of them. Fingered him. Flameborn. Hell yeah. If I can finger these guys, if I hit them with the Creeping Cold first. Oh, nice. Okay, Freezing Spray, Greater Creeping Cold, have an Ice Storm, have a Sleet Storm, have some Sunburst, have a Storm of Vengeance, have another Earthquake, have a Creeping Doom that's going to splash onto all your friends. And Mirage goes down. It's a mess, isn't it? Somebody's healing. I don't like that. There's our guy. Oh, looks like it's pot time. What else am I gonna do with them? I mean, they're for this project, right? Oh no, that sucks. And Paven's gonna heal himself while I'm down here. He's getting low though, he's almost dead. Hello, Ghost of Mirage. And that should take care of him. Yep. Creeping Cold and Finger Death. Nope. And I win. I win. And you may be wondering, are you going to do the optional? I'm going to try. I did it. God, I remember doing one video where it took me like forever because Sorjek was, you know, immune to cold spells, and that really screwed me. And this is going to be an example of how I'm going to be able to overcome a Lich's cold immunity. So maybe this fight will be more reasonable. The optional Sorjek fight is just for the Sovereign rune, which is, you know, it's like the tier 3 rune for the dragon touched armor, basically.